Hello and welcome to Quah Order, a podcast that takes an inside look into the Issaquah Police Department. I'm one of your hosts, Timothy Smith. I'm part of the communications team here at the City of Issaquah, and joining us is our co-host,
Ryan Smith. I'm the Community Resource Officer for the City of Issaquah, the Issaquah Police Department.
Well, Ryan, so let's let everybody know, what does a Community Resource Officer do? How long have you had that position? How long have you been with the City of Issaquah?
Okay. Well, let's, I guess to start, I would say I've been here for almost 7 years in Issaquah. I was with a different department, Port Townsend, before for about 3 years. So been a cop for about 10 years, give or take. I've been the Community Resource Officer for almost 3 years. So I've been doing, I have a lot of different responsibilities with my job, but I've been doing it for about 3 years. I think the number one thing, it's kind of in the name, the second word, resource. I'm really, when I explain what I do, I'm a resource for the community, the residents, the business owners, the people that not just live here, but work here as well. I'm available to them. I'm available to build relationships, help build relationships. And it's pretty awesome. It's a pretty cush job.
I'm sure it's not cush. So if I'm a citizen in the community, I have a question about Issaquah Police Department or some sort of crime issue or some sort of question, you're the person I'm going to.
Yes, that's correct. And I follow up. The normal patrol officer definitely has the info, right? But they're handling other things. So the best thing about my position is I'm not those calls that are coming out every so often or every minute, whatever it is. I'm not taking those calls. So I'm available all the time, but I definitely focus on crime trends, things that are going on within the city. But a big part of that is coming from the patrol officers. They tell me a lot of information, but also the residents tell me what's going on. So I can kind of look at different angles and ways of helping them and doing some crime prevention stuff and education.
Oh, that's great. So it is a cush job.
Very much. It's very much a cush job.
So that's great information. I'm glad it's a great resource for the community, thus Community Resource Officer. Yeah. One of the things that you started this year and kind of the focus of our show today, I think we're going to talk about the Parent Project, which correct. When I heard about this project, it sounded so innovative, really cool, great opportunity for parents and families to kind of correct the ship, so to speak, it seemed like. So can you tell the community about the Parent Project? You know, how long has it been going on? And give us some background.
Yeah. So the Parent Project, it's a nationally recognized program. So we didn't start the Parent Project here in Issaquah, the actual program itself. But what we do is we facilitate this program for the company that is actually founded out of California. And I think the biggest thing with this, when we brought it here, when I was on patrol, I really I recognized and went to a lot of different calls and just saw a lot of parents that were struggling. They were struggling it could be the simplest little thing is my kid won't go to school. They just won't wake up, won't go to school. It could be as severe as, gang violence or something, full spectrum is kind of what this program covers. But I used to go to a lot of calls and I didn't have a lot of answers. I would just give my best advice. I would say, well, hopefully I helped you, but I got to move on to the next call. And I've heard that a lot from other officers as well. And so when this opportunity came up, it was like, hey, there's not a lot of programs for parent education. And that's what the Parent Project is. The kids are not involved in the classes. There's a lot of work that you need to do with your kids outside of it. But this is a parent education class only. And there is really not a lot of opportunities for parents that want help. They want more tools. They want more things that can help them work through some of the things going on, some of their concerns. So when we found this project, I was full force going into it. It's been now within our city. We've had 2 full classes, but it's been, more than a year since we've been going and kind of got this program rolling. And we'll be moving forward. We're going to have, multiple classes a year, and hopefully we'll grow every year and, add more and more. So we're very excited as a police department, including myself and Officer Mike Lucht, who also helps teach and facilitate the class as well.
So if I'm a parent and I'm hearing this podcast or stumbled across some information about the Parent Project, but don't really know a little intimidated by the idea. So by entering the door, I'm admitting that I don't have the skills in my tool my tool chest to deal with this situation. Can you give me what's it like? I mean, what's a class like? How long is the program? What should I expect if I feel like I need that extra help?
Yeah, that's a really good question. And that's one of our biggest hurdles is that parents don't know what to expect. So when you look up the Parent Project and you go to issaquah.gov/Parent Project and you look, hey, I got all this information on here. There's a video, shows all this great stuff, right? It only shows some things you only can read. You really can't experience it, really, truly. So 2 things. One is if anybody is interested and that is a concern of theirs, they can call me at any point before the class starts and we can have a full discussion about what it might look like what I'm going to talk about right now. But if they want to have a one-on-one conversation with me, not a problem at all. Second thing, kind of what it's going to look like when you sign up, you go to the class. It's a 10-week program. So it's a progressive class. And it is important to be there for as many, if not all, we of course would want and recommend that you make every single class. We understand life gets in the way though. So, but as those classes progress, you build on every unit, every week builds on to the next week, until you get to the end. The first week is intimidating. It's intimidating for us as instructors too, because we don't know who you are. Right. So I would definitely want parents to know that it's not just you are coming in going, who are all these people? Who are those cops standing up in front of me? But us cops are standing the other way looking at you going, wow, these are parents that are, can I help them? Can I make a difference? And, we have, Mike and I have definitely made a promise to ourselves and a commitment to this program to make sure we do everything in our power to do that. So I think the biggest thing when you walk in, that every parent in that room is there for the exact same reason. There's something going on at home in their life related to a teenage-ish child that has forced them to be there, that they have made the commitment to be there. And so you're not the only one. You're not coming in a room with people that are going to judge you. They're going through the same thing. And I'll tell you, Mike and I will never sit up there and judge you. There's a reason why we're doing what we do. We have our own experiences. So I think that's the biggest thing is there is no judgment. So showing up there, yes, it's nerve-wracking. You get to know each other. By the end, you see an amazing difference. And from day one, where you're all strangers, to the 10th week, where everyone knows their name, they're texting each other, they're using the idea of this group and the support group that it turns into as a valuable tool for them to continue even after the 10-week program.
Well, it sounds like an amazing program. So you've done a couple of these classes. Has anybody come back to you and talked to you about it and said, or have you gotten any feedback from parents that have gone through the program yet?
Yes, actually several. I mean, like I said, we've had 2 classes, full classes completed, had several from both sets of classes have come back and asked follow-up questions. Just because you go through this class doesn't mean everything gets perfect. It doesn't make it perfect, but what it does is it helps you get to a much better place. And then it's still a lot of work. It's a lot of hard work that you have to continue for a long time, but we are always a resource for those parents. And it's stated throughout the process, throughout the class, and then after, it's shoot me an email, give me a call. And so, yes, had incredible feedback about the biggest changes just within the class. And some of the smallest little things is all they had to do that they didn't realize because they didn't have those tools. They didn't have that structure in place and understanding the consistency that goes through it. So it's been the feedback and the follow-up has been really incredible because it's people like, hey, we want to get anything we can out of this and out of you. And so we're there for them definitely after the class as much as we can. So
what would be like a skill or something that maybe you could share that would happen in the class that you found is helpful?
Yeah. So the unit 1 is it's interesting because people think it's kind of silly, I think, in some sense, but Unit 1 talks about love and affection. And I know I'm a parent of a younger child, so it's a little different for me, but I know that a lot of parents deal with this, is that you get upset with your child and it's really a struggle for you to tell them, I love you. You're mad at them. You don't want to say, I love you. You want to say, I don't like you. You want to say a lot of things, maybe. You might have a lot of thoughts in your head that you're not going to ever say. But it's really hard to say I love you. And that's the first unit, first week, we highly focus on love and affection. Your kid might not want you to say you love, but it doesn't matter. You still tell them, I love you. I'm doing this because I love you. And so that's one of the main things. The other things is consistency with active supervision. Not allowing, some kids you might say, they're the greatest kid in the world.
Right.
Okay. Doesn't mean you can't go check on them. Especially if there's signs, of course, that changes things to a whole nother level. But be actively supervising your kid. And that's not being like they're in prison, but if there's problems and there's things that it's, just spot checks, checking on them at different locations, double checking, simple little things. They will appreciate it at the end. I promise that.
That's right.
So, but it is tough at that time. So parents don't want to overdo it or micromanage, as we would say in our work field, right? Nobody likes a micromanager, but as parents, your duty is to make sure your child's safe and try to encourage and try to help develop them to become whatever they helping however you can. So, but I know that's tough at times. So
yeah, definitely. My kids fight against it, but one of the rules in our house: you go into somebody's house, we need to know the parents.
Yep. Give
us a phone number. We'll make a call, have a conversation.
Yep. It's the simplest thing you can do.
They hate it.
Yes.
But we make them do it.
And you should. My child, when he gets to that age, right now it's pretty easy to follow up with his friends and because he doesn't have a whole lot of them. But when
him and his whoopee.
Yeah, basically. all his toys hang out in his bedroom, so it's easy to know their parents, right? But that is a huge important thing. And I think a lot of the parents that I know and that I may either see or hang out with outside of work or that I know, it's a pretty common rule, and it's a good rule. That is a very good rule. You should know where your kids are going, no matter what age they are.
Yeah.
Until they're 18, at that point, I mean, that's up to them to decide if they still want you to be overlooking, seeing, watching, keeping an eye on them or not.
It's true.
Before that.
Yeah. So. And I don't know if some of it's a blowback from helicopter parenting, because you hear a lot about that. This is a generation of helicopter parenting, and then do I want to be a helicopter parent? But at the end of the day, it's just showing commitment and love to your kids, right?
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Well, it sounds like an amazing program, and we're so lucky that the Issaquah Police Department is offering it, that you guys are offering this. It's such a great resource. Like you said, if you want information about this, what's the website we want to go to again?
Just go to issaquahwa.gov/parent project, and on there'll be actively right now. There is no link to register for the class, but what I ask is just go on there and there'll be a link to my email. Okay. And then just send me an email saying, hey, I'm interested in the class. If you have any questions before the class, just include those in that email. And then I will basically, I've already started a wait list. And then sometime in the summer when we confirm the dates in October, because the next class should be October 2019, the end of the year. But once we have those confirmed dates, then the link will go live basically. And then the people that have already talked to me or already sent emails, I will get a hold of them first, so they have first right. Signing up on Eventbrite, which the link will be there. So
great. Well, I'm excited about the program. I hope it grows and that this just keeps keeping the community engaged. Yeah. Speaking of community engagement, I know one of the things that you do is Coffee with a Cop. Yeah. Now you're doing Cone with a Cop.
Yes.
So let's talk about these events and the goal of these events and where people can find you and that sort of thing.
Okay, so I do several events throughout the year, different types, and Coffee with a Cop, I mean, these are all things, at least Coffee with a Cop's been around for a long time. Right. A lot of departments do it. It's just a great way to engage with people that are in your community. Again, that live here, that work here, and of course I'm a cop and I love coffee. The stereotype lives real with me. Not everyone, but I do love coffee. So this is a fun event for me, but it's also working with the business as well. The business, the Starbucks or the different coffee shops, Issaquah Coffee, wherever we're doing, the local business, whatever it is, it gives us an opportunity to work with them as well and get to know them. So there's two sides to it, building those relationships. So Coffee with Cops, we do several times a year, different locations, a couple hours usually. Again, pretty fun. Most people have heard of it at some point. Last year we did a froyo with the cop, which is frozen yogurt. Right. It was our first time kind of expanding that whole Coffee with the Cop thing, and turned into, I love froyo, so maybe it's a good idea, and didn't know what to expect the first time. It was outstanding. It was
great turnout.
It was a great turnout, and as we assumed, it was very kid friendly.
Oh yeah.
Not that adults don't like froyo, because they do. We had many adults there as well, but it was a ton of kids, ton of teenagers,
great.
younger ages. And it was busy. It was fun. I mean, just tons of pictures. They all wanted to take a picture with me, hang out a lot of stickers. So it was just a really fun event. And I think just for some of the youth to get to know me, get to know police officers. It wasn't just me. There were a couple of other officers there in the department as well.
Is that usually the case that you have multiple officers? So, you get inundated. There's more people to interact with.
Yeah, that's good. Exactly. It's nice to have different people, different cops, different police officers. But also, I mean, my job is to do this. And so I do get to know more people.
Right.
That on the same flip side of that is that's the more reason why I need to have more people involved, because I want them to get to know other officers too, not just me. You know, I am more accessible because of my position. This is my job and what I do on a daily basis more than, patrol officers. So it's pretty fun. It was, like I said, it was the outstanding turnout, outstanding feedback. So this year we changed it up and we're doing it at Ben and Jerry's.
Oh, okay.
So that's why we changed it to Cones and Cop. We couldn't do froyo at an ice cream shop.
Right.
It just wouldn't make sense. So we changed it to Cones and Cops, and I look forward to it. I think it's going to be another really cool event. So that'll be tomorrow night from 6:30 to 8. And I'm excited about it.
So when most people hear this podcast, Cones with a Cop will have already taken place.
That's true. That's true.
But
So it was really good. It was a great event.
So let's talk about how'd it go.
It went really well.
So I guess on the next podcast, we'll follow up and see how Cone with the Cop went.
That sounds awesome.
I'm sure it will do amazing, and it'll just another opportunity for you to get out in the community.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, you're a police officer,
Yes.
and policing deals with crime. And Issaquah has different types of crime. And I know that recently that people have been utilizing, and crime prevention is a big deal. And I know that's a big part of what you do, is educating people on how to protect themselves against crime and tools that they can use. And I know one of the big things that people are utilizing now are video doorbells. Can you talk about video doorbells, and are they a useful tool? How effective are they? Some of the experiences, maybe success stories you've had with people sharing that type of video. Just kind of give us that Issaquah Police Department perspective on video doorbells.
Yeah, so I think there are a lot of different surveillance, different sort of technology basically out there. And I'm a true believer in the idea of a video doorbell. I mean, I have one at my own house. I have multiple cameras. Now, I'm a cop, so I tend to be a little more paranoid, as people would say.
Right.
But I still think it's a good, if you can manage it within your budget, your whatever it is. I mean, if you can do something. So basically a video doorbell, it replaces your doorbell. So someone that comes up to your front doorstep, front deck area, whatever it is, and they push your doorbell instead, they push a doorbell that now has a camera attached to it. And so they're on camera. And also these video doorbells have motion, basically an infrared camera or sensor in there, so they can it's motion activated as well, which is really nice. And the reason why I like that, so package thefts are kind of a big issue, and not just Issaquah, but anywhere. I mean, a lot of people buy Amazon Prime is, it's not a bad way to go, right?
Something gets dropped off on my front porch almost every other day.
Right. And you're probably, that's a very normal thing that most people would say now.
Yeah.
A lot of people order things, business, whatever it is, and maybe they work from home. So how do you keep people from just walking up onto your porch and grabbing that package and walking away? And then if nobody saw that initial thing, nobody's going to know. It's not going to look out of place necessarily. Right. If you're just walking down the street with a box in your hand. Just by that itself, it could not be suspicious maybe. So with the video doorbell, having that access is that one, someone comes up to your door, you are going to see them. They can still take the package, but one, you could potentially identify them. Right. Two, it actually is a deterrence of its own. It will not deter everyone, and I know that. And I'm not going to sit here and say that just because you have a video doorbell that people will not potentially try to, take advantage of it and take your package. But it will deter a large amount of people. And then the other people, if they do still go, I don't even care. Nobody's going to, whatever, they go up. Then you're going to have a video that you'll be able to share with police department, with, some of the different companies now have different neighborhood apps and ways to deliver to your neighbors those videos. So it's pretty easy. It's with technology to be able to deliver it and stream it around is pretty easy. So I think they're very nice to have. I think they're a good way. it's helped us identify people in our community here.
Okay.
Now we can always identify every single person on camera.
Right.
That's the truth of it. But it has helped us solve and be able to locate multiple people that have stolen packages. Or we had one that it was a car was driving by. We were able to get a license plate off a car. And
Oh, wow.
And be able to use that just because we knew that camera was there. So, so anything I think can help. And if you're able, you have the ability to purchase or have something like that, I think that's a great thing. All it can do is help is I think the key there. So
that's great. I think that's great advice. And like you said, with technology, anything that help protect our homes and our families from crime is a benefit.
Yes, it is.
So, well, I think that kind of wraps up all our topics. Do you have anything on the horizon, anything coming on besides Conan the Cop, which will be over before this podcast airs?
So I think the one thing I did want to touch base on is, we have our National Night Out coming up.
Oh, that's right. Yes.
So which this should hopefully be, I don't know when this will be.
It will be well before National Night Out.
So if you're listening, National Night Out, 2019, it'll be August 6th. 5 to 7 p.m. And this is located right behind the police department.
Right.
So on the patio back there between the park, and it's a pretty awesome event, but a bunch of cops are going to be hanging out. We hosted free hot dogs. There'll be drinks and different things like that. Some chips, just basically a good gourmet hot
dogs cooked by police officers.
Exactly. Good barbecue. There'll be a bunch of vendors there as well. Different people with ADT, some safety security stuff, PSC talking about just some different ways of helping save on your bills, different things like that. It's pretty cool. Face painters.
Nice.
We raffle off some different gifts, which is always a fun thing. And guess who will be there this year actually helping me with this?
I hear you're going to have an amazing MC this year. I think, not that your MCs in the past haven't been amazing, but I think this year you kind of blew the budget and brought in the best.
I had to finally go for it. So if anybody wants to know, it is my co-host here, Tim Smith.
Yeah, so it's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to it. I always attend in one capacity or another. It's great that it'll actually be kind of in the belly of the beast and helping you out. So I'm really looking forward to the event. It's a very fun event.
Yeah, I'm excited. And lastly on that, Guardian One, the King County's helicopter, almost every year, they're always invited.
Right, I didn't want to ask because I didn't know.
So they're always on the agenda land in Memorial Park, which is so much fun.
That's
even
the highlight.
Adults, kids. I mean, it's pretty cool to see the helicopter up close. And so they're there almost every single year, unless there's some other thing that happens. But
it's amazing to see like adults act like children when the helicopter, because helicopter doesn't land 100 yards from you every day.
No.
And you watch it land and then you get to go out and talk to them. It's really cool. It's the highlight of the event for me. So.
It is. Yeah. I think for most,
yeah.
I'll get a hot dog. That's cool. I'll get some free things, but where's that helicopter?
That's right. Helicopter coming in. Well, that's exciting. August 6th.
August 6th, yes.
Yeah, that's exciting. Hopefully the whole community will come out, have a good time. It's always on a Tuesday.
Always on a Tuesday. First Tuesday of every August is when the event happens.
Right. So come on down to National Night Out. Easy for me to say. And then you can even head over to Concert on the Green, make a whole night of it.
Yes. Yeah, you can. It's a perfect.
It's a perfect summer evening for the family.
Yes.
Yeah. Have dinner and a show.
Yeah.
Dinner and a show.
I think it sounds good. Yeah. So anybody wants to take over for me, and then I'll go over and enjoy the show, help with the cleanup at the end, and then we'll be good to go.
That's right.
Yeah, that's good. So Tim has actually agreed that he'll do that for me, so we're good.
Yeah, I'm just doing it all now. This is my turn.
Yeah.
Well, Ryan, I appreciate you joining us on Quah Order. This is our big kickoff. We've done a few of these in the past. We're starting it up again. I hope you enjoyed yourself. I enjoyed myself. I did. And we'll see you guys next time on Quah Order.
See you later.
Bye.